Annabel was tired. But how would she tell her father that she was tired of the life she was living? She had everything one could ever ask for, everything money could buy, but she just wanted to run away. People would kill to be in her position, but that did not matter to her. Annabel Johnson, popularly known as Anna, sat in her glass-walled office, working tirelessly on her laptop. She looked every bit of the heiress to a billion-dollar empire, with her neatly pressed suits, pearl earrings, and a sleek glossy hair that flowed over her shoulders. She had lived a luxurious life since she was born. She had everything one could ask for, everything money could buy. She had moved out of her father's house when she was just 19 into a grand mansion. She had everything and servants that never stopped moving. At just 22, Annabel was thrust into the corporate world by her father, Chief Nathaniel Johnson, a towering figure in business. As long as she could remember, her life revolved around meetings, strategy sessions, and high-stakes decisions. She traveled to different countries with her father's private jets on a daily basis for meetings and some, well, for vacations. Her father had built Johnson's Global from scratch, a company that specializes in canned food. And now, it was her turn to carry the torch. Yet, all Annabel wanted was freedom, a chance to breathe without the weight of her father's legacy or family name on her shoulders. One late evening, after another grueling 14-hour workday, Annabel made a bold decision. She would escape, just for a while. No meetings, no boardrooms, no expectations. She would leave without telling her father the real reason, just as she was going away for a while. She just wanted a life without the shadow of her surname following her around. She just wanted to live a simple life, for once. After booking a modest Airbnb in Ilori, a quiet city far from the bustle of Lagos, she arranged her clothes one evening, packed a single suitcase, donned simple clothes, and disappeared. In Ilori, the air felt different. Annabel relished the absence of flashing cameras and hurried assistants. She wandered the streets, blending in like every other ordinary young woman. She woke up every morning feeling refreshed and relaxed, happy she made this decision. One sunny afternoon, she craved some apples, so she decided to go to the local market. Something she had never done before in her life. The local market was alive with activities. The scent of roasted corn and fresh pepper filled the air, mingling with the chatter of traders hawking their wares. She smiled happily as she wandered, pricing some goods and asking some traders how their day was going. She felt so happy and free like a bird. She smiled happily as she wandered, greeting anyone and everyone she sees and just enjoying the scenery. It was here she met Jide. Jide Adeyanju was a man with a purpose. At 30, he carried the scars of struggle, his once bright dreams dimmed by years of hardship. A graphic designer by trade, Jide spent his days pitching designs to small businesses and his nights sketching grand ideas he could never afford to realize. His mother's tiny shop barely covered the rent, and his younger sister's school fees hung above his head like a cloud. But Jide had a fire in him, an ambition that refused to be snuffed out by poverty. Their meeting was accidental. Annabel, distracted by the vibrant colors of the hand-woven fabrics, had bumped into Jide, nearly toppling his basket of supplies. He turned, annoyance flashing in his eyes, but his words froze when he saw her. There was something about her, the warmth in her eyes, the soft, "I'm so sorry," that escaped her lips. "It's fine," Jide muttered, brushing off the encounter, but Annabel lingered, curious about the sketches peeking out from his bag. "Are you an artist?" she asked. Jide hesitated. "Well, something like that," he replied. Annabel smiled, intrigued. "Can I see it?" He handed her a page, his heart stirring. It was a rough sketch of a futuristic landscape, a blend of African heritage and modern innovation. "This is amazing," she said sincerely. "You're really talented." Her words touched something deep in Jide, something that had been buried under the years of rejection and failure. They talked for hours that day, sharing dreams, fears, and laughter. Annabel introduced herself simply as Anna, leaving out her last name and the future tied to it. She wanted to be seen for who she was, not for her wealth or status. Over the next few weeks, their bond deepened. Jide, with his infectious optimism and relentless drive, made Annabel feel alive in a way she hadn't felt in years. He showed her the beauty in simplicity, a walk by the river, a meal of jollof rice shared under the stars, a thrill of creating something from nothing. Annabel, in turn, became Jide's anchor. She believed in him when no one else did, encouraging him to chase his dreams no matter how far-fetched they seemed. She had decided there and then to invest millions in Jide once she had returned to her rich life. His talents had a future and she was willing to invest in it. Their love blossomed like a flame, bright and warm. Jide proposed 2 months later, and Annabel, swept up in the whirlwind of emotions, said yes. She was so happy. She had come here to get away from her busy life, to rest and just get away. But she had found love instead, a true love without her name and money attached to it. They married in a small ceremony, with Jide's mother and sister as the only guests. She wanted to tell her father, but she didn't want Jide to know about her life just yet. Annabel told herself that her background didn't matter. What mattered was the man who loved her for who she was, not for her wealth. She would tell him everything once the time was right, and he would in turn become one of the heirs to the Johnson Empire. For the first 3 months, their marriage was heavenly. It was everything she had imagined it would be. Jide was so loving and caring, and she couldn't believe how lucky she was to have found him. Soon, things began to turn around for Jide. It seemed like his business had picked up. Someone had invested in him. They moved into a better house. He bought a car. In fact, they started living a better life. Jide now had money and affluence. Life was good and Annabel couldn't be happier. But soon, cracks formed in their perfect world. Jide, once attentive and affectionate, grew distant. He spent long hours outside, claiming he was chasing new clients. Annabel noticed subtle changes. The way he avoided her gaze, the late-night phone calls he dismissed as work. One evening, while tidying up their apartments, Annabel found a receipt for an expensive diner. It was dated the same night Jide had claimed to be meeting a client. Her heart sank. "Who is she?" Annabel asked him later, her voice trembling. Jide's face hardened. "What are you talking about?" "Don't lie to me, Jide. I found the receipt." For a moment, he said nothing. Then he sighed heavily. "Anna, I can't do this anymore." Annabel stared at him, stunned. "What do you mean?" "I want a divorce," he said bluntly. Annabel's heart felt like it had been shattered into 1,000 pieces. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. "A divorce?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. "Jide, why? What happened to us?" Jide avoided her gaze, his expression cold and unreadable. "I've met someone else," he admitted. "She's wealthy, Anna. She's the one that gave me the life we're living right now. She wants to marry me. I'm tired of struggling, tired of pretending that love is enough. If I don't marry her, I might remain in poverty," he claimed. Annabel's breath caught in her throat. For a moment, the room seemed to spin. She had given him everything, her love, her trust, her heart, and yet it wasn't enough. "You promised me," she said, tears streaming down her face. "You said we would face everything together, no matter how hard it got." Jide's jaw tightened. "I'm sorry," he said. "This isn't personal, Anna. I love you, but it's not enough. You can't give me what I want. I'm the first child of my family and I have to take care of them. I can't go back to poverty. It's just survival," he said. "So you choose money over my love?" Anna asked, tears streaming down her face. "I have suffered my whole life. This is the only opportunity to better my life. I can make your life better. Together we can work and make our lives better," she sobbed, begging Jide. "How?" It's not like you have a rich dad somewhere. I can't, Anna. I'm sorry. Annabel felt as though the ground had been ripped out from under her. But even in her pain, a part of her refused to let go. Soon, Jide presented Anna with the divorce papers. Please sign these and give them to me as soon as possible, Jide said. I won't sign the papers, she said firmly. If you want a divorce, you have to wait. Jide's face darkened. Don't make this harder than it needs to be, Anna. Just let me go. But Anna refused. For weeks, they lived like strangers in their beautiful apartment. Jide grew colder, more resentful, and his cruelty began to surface. He snapped at her over the smallest things, leaving her feeling worthless and unwanted. One night, he grabbed her arm so hard it left a bruise. Why won't you just let me go? He yelled, his voice echoing through the apartment. Annabelle pulled her arm free, tears in her eyes. Because I love you, she said quietly. But the man standing before her wasn't the Jide she had fallen in love with. This Jide was a stranger, someone hardened by greed and ambition, willing to hurt her to get what he wanted. Meanwhile, back in Lagos, Chief Nathaniel Johnson was growing increasingly desperate. His only child and daughter had been gone for months, and he had spared no expense in trying to find her. Private investigators combed through every possible lead, but Anna had covered her tracks well. One evening, feeling depressed and alone, she put her old SIM card back into the phone, hoping someone she knew would call. Just then, her phone rang. It was a number she didn't recognize. Hesitating, she answered. Anna, the voice on the other end said, filled with relief. It's me, Dad. Anna's breath caught in her throat. Dad? Where are you, my daughter? Chief Johnson's voice was thick with emotion. I've been searching for you everywhere. Are you safe? Anna hesitated. She had wanted to stay hidden, to live a life free from her family's expectations. But now, with Jide's betrayal weighing heavily on her, she wasn't sure what to do. Dad, I'm fine, she said finally. Please don't worry about me. Chief Johnson wasn't easily deterred. Tell me where you are, Anna. I'm coming to get you. But Anna hung up the phone before he could say more. The following morning, Anna was still sleeping in the bed when she felt a bucket of cold water poured on her. She screamed and jumped off the bed. It was Jide. Why have you decided to make my life hell? Why won't you just let me go? He yelled. Is that why you poured me this cold water on the bed? Anna asked, shock written all over her face. Yes, since you have decided to make my life hell. Annabelle stared at the papers, her hands trembling. She had fought so hard to hold on, but now she was tired. Tired of the pain, the betrayal, the constant reminders of what they had lost. Are you sure you want me to sign this? Once I sign it, I will never come back to you. So I ask you again, are you sure this is what you really want? Yes, Jide replied, his face emotionless. Please sign it, and you will not regret it. Jide was silent. Fine, she said quietly, picking up a pen. If this is what you want, then I'll sign. Jide's expression softened for a moment, as though he wasn't expecting her to give in. But the moment passed quickly, and he watched silently as Anna signed her name. Later that evening, as Annabelle packed her belongings, a sleek black car pulled up outside the apartment. The door swung open, and out stepped Chief Nathaniel Johnson. Jide froze as the imposing figure approached. Who are you? He demanded. Chief Johnson's gaze was icy. I am Annabelle's father, he said, his voice low and dangerous. Where is my daughter? Jide stammered, caught off guard by the man's majestic presence. She's leaving, he said quickly. Her father was confused and demanded to know what had happened. When he heard that he just divorced Anna, he went ballistic, demanding that he provided Anna immediately. But Anna had already slipped out through the back door, unwilling to face either of them. She boarded a bus bound for Lagos, her heart heavy but resolute. Chief Johnson was furious. What did you do to my daughter? He yelled. Jide was surprised. "What are you talking about? Who are you?" he demanded. "I am Chief Johnson, the CEO of Johnson's Global." Jide's mouth dropped as he sank to the floor. "You mean you are the owner of Johnson's Global and Anna is your daughter?" "Where is my daughter?" Johnson demanded. Jide went inside the bedroom to call Anna, but she was not there. Anna was gone. Chief Johnson was furious and thinking that he did something to Anna, called the police. Within hours, Jide was arrested for fraud, accused of using Annabelle under false pretenses. But Anna, hearing of his arrest, returned to Ilori days to set the record straight. "Let him go," she told her father firmly. "He is not worth it." Jide, now released, was a broken man. He realized too late what he had lost, the daughter of one of the richest men in Africa. He knew he loved her, but his ambition had blinded him. He realized that he could have had it all: love, wealth, and affluence. His relationship with the woman he wanted to marry became sour because he was a shadow of himself, and so she left him. But Jide didn't care. He begged Annabel for forgiveness. "I forgive you, Jide, but we can never ever be together again. You made your choice, Jide," she said quietly. "Now you have to live with it." Jide's regret consumed him. He just couldn't get Anna off his mind. But Anna was done. Jide couldn't take it anymore. Jide cried and wailed. He couldn't eat for days as his heart was troubled. How would he get Anna back, he thought. "I love her and I want her." Jide couldn't take it anymore. So one fateful night, unable to bear the weight of his regrets, he just wanted to sleep and never wake up. So that night, he slowly climbed his bed, cut his wrist, and laid down as he bled out. Annabelle heard of the news of Jide's death a week later. It came in the form of a phone call from Jide's younger sister Tenny, who was sobbing uncontrollably. "Anna, he's gone," Tenny said, her voice cracking. Annabelle sat in a stunned silence, the phone trembling in her hands. Despite everything Jide had done, she had never wished him harm. The weight of his death pressed heavily on her chest, and for days she found herself lost in a sea of memories. The laughter they had shared, the dreams they had once built together. Her father, Chief Johnson, tried to console her. "He made his choices, Annabelle," he said. "You did everything you could. It's not your fault." But the words didn't comfort her. She couldn't help but wonder if things could have been different if she had tried harder to save their marriage, or if she hadn't pretended to be someone else from the start. One afternoon, as she sat by the window of her father's estate, staring out at the lush gardens, Tenny came to visit her. "Why did it have to end this way?" Tenny asked, tears streaming down her face. "He was all I had." Annabelle hugged her tightly, letting the younger woman cry in her shoulder. "I am so sorry, Tenny," she said softly. "I wish things were different." Tenny pulled back, wiping her eyes. "You know, Anna, he regretted everything. He talked about you all the time. He said you were the best thing that had ever happened to him." The words were bittersweet. Annabelle knew that Jide's regret had come too late, but hearing that he still cared for her brought a strange sense of closure. Over the next few months, Annabelle focused on rebuilding her life. She threw herself into philanthropic work, using her wealth and affluence to uplift struggling artists like Jide had once been. She started a foundation in his memory, offering grants and mentorship to young creatives who lacked the resources to chase their dreams. Through this work, Annabelle found healing. She realized that love wasn't just about holding on, but also about letting go when necessary. Her relationship with Jide had taught her the power of forgiveness and the importance of staying true to herself. One day, while attending a gallery opening for one of the artists supported by her foundation, Annabelle met a man named Damilare. He was a painter, his works brimming with color and emotion. There was something about him, a quiet strength, a kindness in his eyes that drew her in. They began talking, and soon, conversations turned into shared moments, and shared moments blossomed into something more. Annabel took her time, allowing herself to heal and grow before fully opening her heart again. But this time, she didn't hide who she was. She told Damilare about her past, about Jide, and about the lessons she had learned. Damilare listened with compassion, never once judging her. "You've been through so much," he said one evening as they walked through a park. "But you're stronger because of it, and that's something to be proud of." Years later, Annabelle stood at the inauguration of a new art center named after Jide. She felt a sense of peace wash over her. The past had shaped her, but it no longer defined her. She had found love again, but more importantly, she had found herself. As the crowd applauded her speech, Annabelle looked up in the sky, a small smile on her lips. She knew Jide was watching, and in her heart she whispered, "Rest now, Jide. I'll carry the light you couldn't hold on to." And with that, Annabelle stepped into the next chapter of her life, ready to embrace whatever the future held.